Hey, it's Brock here from Rockhill Farms, and I'm on my way to the Tulsa Farm Show. So this isn't anything I had planned at all. I just happened to see yesterday on Facebook an ad for the Tulsa Farm Show. I thought, you know, I'm not doing anything else. Why not head up and check it out? So then I got on their website and I started checking out the vendors, and there were a bunch of vendors on there that I found really interesting and stuff that I thought might be interesting to some of you guys. So I think it'll be a fun day, and hopefully there's opportunity to get some footage. So stick around and let's see what we find. Now we're talking. First thing when you walk in the door, you've got these bobcats. This looks like the articulated loader that Tractor Time with Tim showed on his channel. Something I think you're going to see a lot more competing with compact tractors over the years. Although you're not getting your PTO, which I think is a big deal, you can still run a lot of different things. Looks like this Bobcat has an air ride seat, which is fairly rare for a tractor in this size. I'm a big fan of stand-on mowers. They've got a massive stand-on mower here. I mean, I've got a couple of John Deere stand-ons, and this is another size range. It really would have been awesome if we had the opportunity to test drive some of this equipment and see how it compares. For example, with that stand-on mower, I'd love to compare it to the stand-on mowers that I have. That looks like a big brush crusher on the front of that skid steer. Now that is a serious grapple. Makes me want a skid steer. Now we're moving into Kubota. I'm thinking this is a diesel zero-turn mower. Side kicks. Here we have a L2501. Not to be negative towards Kubota, but I really don't like the tractors with the joystick right here. I mean, John Deere models in the E series are built like that. That's a lot of orange. Now we're talking. Down here we've got some old John Deere tractors. I'm gonna try to see everything today. The truth is, I have no practical need for it. I want a tractor with tires as tall as I am. What do you think? Alright, we got a skid steer. I only made 2 purchases while I was here. The big one will be at the end, and then this is the smaller purchase.
These drill bits here look enough like a masonry bit that I have to show right off the bat how much tougher than carbide they are. If you're ever struggling trying to get started into a piece of steel and you keep walking across the surface of the steel, if it happens with the Bad Dog, because the tips of these bits are carbaloid rather than common carbide, feel free to use the drill bit. as a set for itself. So if you break a stud out or an extractor trying to get to the stud, turn back around and use the same bit that you cut stainless with to cut masonry with, and cut tile with. And if you damage one, we replace it with another one.
It's a good deal.
The cutoff wheel is a 46 grit diamond. So whether you're cutting concrete with rebar, stucco with a lath, whether you're cutting steel or stone, and if you've ever worked in porcelain, this might mean something to you. 9,000 RPM through full body porcelain tile would melt the diamond off a good $50 tile saw. Not only do you cut it all, because the diamond drops all the way down the face, you also grind it all. So go ahead and cut and grind, and if it stops, we replace it. Not only cut and grind, but polish, sand, and sharpen with the same blade. And here's the thing, if you wear it out, we replace it with another one. By the hand. The shanks of the bits are 5140 armor rather than high-speed steel, so we give you a little bit more side torque than what you're used to. I am not suggesting that you won't damage it.
I can't say if they'll live up to the hype or not, but I bought the drill bit set and the grinding wheel. This is Bison built metal buildings, or portable storage buildings. I really want to get a tractor in this range right here and take my time fully rebuilding it. And you know, I'll try to make it look really nice if I do it, but I'm also going to use it. I don't want just something to show. You know, it may not be much, just pulling a brush hog or something like that, but I would love to have one of these older Deere tractors. Look at this little guy. Tiny. I'm guessing this is similar capability to backhoe you'd have on the back of a tractor. BX23S. I'll have to see if that's what John Ritter has. I'm thinking his is a little bigger, but this thing's tiny. I mean, my tractor's not huge, but it's massive compared to this little BX. Obviously, you're going to use the same seat for the backhoe. Just fill out the thing right there for that?
Yeah, we're giving away $1,000 to each day.
Ah.
For the Can-Am, there's a QR code right there. You just take a picture and you just fill out the survey that pops up.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
So good luck.
All right, so I'm at the Can-Am booth. I've heard of the Can-Am Spider. I didn't know that they made side-by-sides and four-wheelers. It's like a 570. It's got a toolbox on the back. So I really like the looks of this. I've got a post hole digger that goes on my 3-point, but it doesn't have any down pressure. This would probably be a much more capable machine, even though it's hydraulic driven rather than PTO driven. So this is a local dealer that I really took an interest in talking to, because they have the miniature balers from Tar River that I've been considering using to bale the hay on my property. I had a long talk with the owner, and he told me a lot about those balers, and I'm only disappointed that I didn't realize my mic was not turned on, so we didn't get great audio. So even though this is a local dealer for me, if you're interested in these miniature balers, they can ship them anywhere. Alright, so I'm here with John from John's Tractor Works. We're looking at these miniature balers. This is a Tar River, and this is, I think, ideal for someone who's got a small property like mine, 20 acres, and a small tractor. And I can't bale my hay with the traditional baling equipment. So, John, you have anything you want to say about these balers or about your dealership?
Yeah, been in business 36 years. John's Tractor Works started up in Vinita, Oklahoma 36 years ago. We now have expanded to the Tulsa area, which is just a little location down. It's 5 years old now, doing very well. So we've sold these balers at both locations now and have done very well. We found this little niche market for people like yourself. It takes a minimum of 5 horsepower. That's all it takes. So we have one tractor, we have a little rake, a mower, and a baler. We all use that one tractor. We've got one customer that's kind of unique. He'll mow it off and then put the rake on his loader. So he just does it all in one pass with this little baler. You know?
That's something I just set up on mine where I can move or use 3-point attachments on the front. So it's kind of handy.
So that'll work very well for someone like you. It's not an expensive baler. Don't have to invest a ton of money. Don't have to sell the farm to do it, you know. And bale your own hay, and then do some custom hay as well, you know, if you'd like. And it's just a little, very simple baler. It's called a soft core baler. Some terms as a rawdone baler, you know, and the hay goes in, it just kind of bubbles around there until it kind of gets a circle around it, and then it just packs the hay together, and then it tells you when it's full, and you get the little trip tie, it ties it.
Is this a manual release or a button?
It's a hydraulic release, but it'll be electric button.
Oh, yeah.
Right here, it's a tie. It's just a standard twine that you can get at any of your local stores that have twine. You know, we have it as well, but you don't have to get the meat. We'd love for you to, but you know, you can get it at your local hardware or whoever sells twine. All hardware stores don't sell twine.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're not buying the cheap twine. Make sure you get something good.
Get something that's rotor resistant. You know, there's also differences in that too. So you have that in your barn or stored out. You know, these round bells, they're like the big round bells. They'll shed water too, so they'll take outside elements as well.
And then as far as other things besides this baler, you sell Coyote tractors, and then what?
We sell McCormick on the big side. On the big side, we sell all bush hog equipment. We sell Walker lawnmowers, Bobcat lawnmowers. We sell coon hay equipment. Anything you want, we have. We have a big inventory of stock at all times right now with the COVID deal. We're building up. It's been kind of difficult the last 6 months to get inventory built up. We just got 11 tractors this morning at the store there this morning. So
when I was shopping tractors, take my grandson up all the time and just let him sit on tractors, and you can't do that now. Mostly all the lots are almost empty.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we had 2 tractors for about 2 months there. You know, some of our I don't want to say non-desirable, but not as popular. You know, for 2 months, that was all we had. You know, it was 2 tractors, and now we've got a lot of them pre-sold that are in today. They were already pre-sold back in December. So,
well, I appreciate you taking time to talk to me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me.
I talked a lot more with John, but the audio wasn't great, so I kind of shortened it up. But those balers get kind of a bad reputation online. If you ask, everyone says it's a toy and not a real tool, and that you'll never get dealer support. But right there's a dealer who would support the product, and I really think it's a good option for someone like me who would like to bale a little bit of hay but doesn't want to invest a fortune in it or even buy a bigger tractor just for that. In those mini round bales, you can get a full package with a baler, a rake, and a mower for $10,000 to $12,000. And that's a realistic price range for someone who's only got 20 acres like me to get the equipment to pay for itself before it's worn out. What you get out of those is a bale that's about the size of a small square bale, weighs about 40 to 60 pounds. You can easily stack them, and it's just a good way in my mind to get started with it. The other alternative that I was looking at would be to get older used equipment and try to fix it up and maintain it, but that comes with its own set of challenges as far as the learning curve that's needed to service that equipment. But he had a older John Deere square baler that he was asking $3,500 for, so I may go take a look at that. There were 380 booths here, and a lot of them may have been great products that they were showing, but they're geared more towards livestock farmers and just weren't really interesting to me, so I skipped by a lot of that and mainly just tried to show the equipment and the things that fit more in with what I do on my channel.
Morning.
Hello, how are you?
Very good, how are you?
Last night, Jack says, when did you bang your head?
I'll probably start thinking of switching back to creek.
That's not a stump grinder, is it?
No, that's a chip.
Oh. I've
15-inch chipper. We do sell stump grinders though.
Yeah, so I do a little bit of stump grinding on my tractor, and I just know the name from stump grinders. I was trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah, they build chippers too, and this is probably a medium-sized chipper.
Yes. That is a monster. Everything I run goes off my PTO. I've been looking at chippers, and what's the diameter this thing will chip?
This will do 15.
Jeez.
And this line we can go up to 21.
Pretty cool. Hey, thanks for your time. So of course I get the difference between a product that's designed for a farm and ranch, property owner type of equipment and something that's commercial. But when I'm looking at PTO driven wood chippers, I'm trying to decide if 3-inch or 5-inch material fits more into my needs. I never would have even realized they had a machine that could chip 21-inch branches, and that he was still calling that line of machinery mid-size. I stopped and checked out some of this tough line stuff, and they really look like they make some nice 3-point attachments too. Some of the Frontier branded attachments are actually manufactured by Tough Line and just rebranded for Frontier. So I just picked up a landscape brake myself. This is a unique system here that looks like it's got a ratcheting system to give you as many points that you can set it at as possible. That linkage there actually isn't for the tilt, it's for the offset, so that you can rake a ditch off to the side of the tractor or anything like that. One thing that strikes me as I look at all the tractors here is they all seem to be like quality products. And you know, in 2021, most manufacturers make a good tractor. They're similar in a lot of ways. So it really comes down to what your dealer support's going to be like when choosing a model. This is only the second Yanmar tractor I've seen. They have one setting outside of Home Depot that you can rent, but other than that, I hadn't seen them. It's just a base tractor, but you can get that for a pretty good payment plan. Finally got around to the new Deere booth. This looks like P&K equipment. They didn't really have nearly as big a presence as I thought they might. And this is a 5065, which is a model I've been researching quite a bit. So I knew quite a bit about it, but I felt like sitting in it and getting a feel for how roomy the operator station was. How do you angle the steering wheel?
Then you can also turn the center cap.
I just talked to the salesman of the John Deere a little bit, and I tell you what, I'd like to have one of these 5 series. Could lift my full bunks of plywood in one trip instead of having to break it up in 4, and then I could get a real baler if I wanted. So I was just talking about how much I'd like to have one of those Tar River balers, and I do think that's the way I'd like to go, but it sounded bad when I said a real baler, but I just meant the standard size bales that everybody's used to seeing. There on the left's the new 500 series zero turns, which have really been upgraded. Here's a 3025E. It's got that same joystick that I was talking about with the Kubota earlier. Here we've got a skid steer. $23,000 for a 3025E tractor with a bush hog, a box blade, and a trailer. that's a heck of a value. I mean, everyone talks about John Deere as being the more expensive brand, and I know this is an economy tractor, but that's a lot of tractor for what you're paying. These are products I've looked at from Baumolite. Their stump grinder's great, so I assume all their other products are probably the same quality. And they've got one about like this. I don't know how big of a tractor you need to run that. And you're gonna need a lot of weight on that tractor to keep it from falling over on you. Obviously, common sense will tell you what you shouldn't be cutting down, especially if it's leaning back, but very cool attachment. Something about tracks always stops me in my tracks, whether it's on a tractor or a mower or whatever it's on. When I see those tracks, I gotta stop and check it out. This is one I really wish I could have given a test drive to. Never heard of Duchfar. Is that a... You guys sell that locally? I just never seen it before.
Years ago, they used to be on airport. Just about everybody that had them on airport is still running
Huh. They only make the bigger machines, or do they do compacts too?
No, just over here, I think the smallest they go down to is like 75 horse. I don't think they're not real market competitive with the little tractors. Not yet, anyway.
Are you just buy them, or do you guys sell Sparta mowers too? It's pretty cool track mowers. I don't know. Does that actually work good without tearing up your lawn?
Yeah, it takes a little bit of finessing, and then once you get used to it, the wear and tear on your back is unbelievable to how smooth those ride compared to like the tires. It's all fake steel.
Well, that's cool that they're made locally. All right, well, thanks for your time. Since I hadn't seen this brand before, the first thing I thought was that it was a bargain brand, kind of a new company, but it looks like they've been around a while, and just looking at the controls and the features, I'm actually thinking this is more of a high-end option. I wasn't able to find any pricing online about these tractors, so I can't really say if they're in that premium price range. But it looks like the reason I haven't heard of them is it's more of an international brand. Here we got Massey Ferguson brand. Looks like there's a factory cab model in this Massey Ferguson. I'm guessing this is a 40 horsepower tractor. Very easy open, easy close doors with the shocks there. Got a 3-range transmission. We've got telescoping draft arms, one set of remote hydraulics. All right, here we've got LS tractors.
Tell me how I can get one of these.
It's got dual rear remotes and the telescoping arms again. I'm seeing those a lot on, you know, this is a bigger tractor than I've got. This would be, I'm guessing, like a comparable to a John Deere 3E. But your 3E can have the telescoping arms. I don't really think you're going to get the rear remotes, at least not stock on the 3E. And here's their cab tractor. The part of the display I'm going through now had a ton of really cool equipment, but it's all skid steer, and that's not really my area, so I didn't spend too much time asking them questions. I'm getting ready to go over to the last booth that I stopped at, because when I was done there I said I better get out of here. So I didn't come here to even look at buildings, but before I left, I'd ordered a 30 by 40 equipment shed. These buildings right here are called a Kwanzaa. They come in all different sizes. You build it yourself. It's got a higher wind and snow rating than a pole barn, and I just ordered one. I've known I had to expand my storage capacity for our products and for the tractor equipment and attachments, but the prices on pole barns were just having me nervous about how I was going to get it done. And after spending quite a bit of time with the salesman here, I think this is the right fit for me. This is going to be the new home for the tractor. All the attachments should be coming in this summer. I ordered it 30 by 40, but I'll lay out my area and I may expand that more like 30 by 60. Alright, well, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. In just a second, I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.